Well, I think you're exactly right on it when you talk just about how shocking this is, how it came out of the blue to many Washington insiders. A lot of people simply caught flat-footed by this. And if you listen to what the White House is saying, that they made the decision because of the way Comey handled the investigation into Hillary Clinton's email scandal. First announcing that it was wrapped up during the summer, and then just 11 days before the critically important presidential election, announcing it had been reopened. I want to read you a couple of quick comments that came out of letters. We have one from the White House, a letter to Director Comey from Donald Trump, where it says, "While I greatly appreciate you informing me on 3 separate occasions I am not under investigation, I nevertheless concur with the judgment of the Department of Justice that you are not able to effectively lead the Bureau." That's very interesting because Comey, during a session just last week on the Hill, was asked by Senate leaders if indeed this administration was under investigation for the way it handled, or it is looking into the possibility of Russia impacting the election. He said that he wasn't comfortable talking about it at the time. But the White House has gone to great lengths to say that the only reason that Comey is out was because of the way he handled Hillary Clinton scandal. You talked about Rod Rosenstein. He wrote a 3-page letter detailing what happened, and he used words like a lack of concern of integrity, lack of confidence, leadership, all those coming apart. But this has a lot of people wondering if indeed the move behind this was to try and somehow cut off this investigation that is going on about possible ties to Russia, indeed, if it had any bearing on the election. I mean, they talk about what happened years and years ago, back in 1973, when Richard Nixon was president, and there was a special investigator looking into his Watergate activities, and Nixon on Saturday night very famously fired Archibald Cox, and that became on and known as the Saturday Night Massacre. Could this be round 2 of that?
Sean, does the president have the legal authority to fire the director of the FBI when he could be under investigation?
Absolutely, he does. That's very clearly stated. We know this has happened at least, well, it only has happened one other time, and that was Bill Clinton when he fired William Sessions back in the 90s, saying that he had simply lost faith in Sessions and said that he was, quote, damaged goods for months on end. Now, a lot of this has to do with the fact the FBI director has long been an incredibly powerful job in the United States. People look at J. Edgar Hoover, who served for more than 50 years as director of the FBI. Now there is a 10-year limit, and that person cannot be reappointed. But certainly the sacking of Comey coming late in the afternoon here on Tuesday afternoon caught a lot of people off guard. As you mentioned, we're waiting to hear exactly what Donald Trump has to say about this. But right now, people just lining up to say, look, we think there's more going on to this. This could possibly be something the Trump administration is doing to cut off any investigation into Russian ties with the election, because the next person appointed to FBI is certainly going to have that on his or her mind.